Amukela nonke Bona Retsang, the only news and magazine show for you, the youth of Mzansi. This is your platform to tell us about anything that affects you and your community.
That is right, guys. Make sure that you drop us a post on our Facebook page, or you can tweet us by following us at Bona Retsang. For detailed information on the show or the presenters, you could always check out our website and get updated on our show.
True that, my friend Zach. But now let's get straight into the action and check out what's lined up for today's show.
Firstly, we take a look at the consequences teens face for making the wrong decisions at school.
Then we take an in-depth look at bullying.
We meet up with DJ Lulo Cafe.
Then Boogerman Boba gives us his funny take on the news.
We have all of this and more lined up for you guys, so make sure that you stick with us. But for now, let's start off by checking out today's main story.
And today, our BR reporter Gino gives us the lowdown on how two teenagers now have to deal with consequences of letting their hormones get the better of them. Check this out.
There are a lot of things that you can do in school, especially in the classroom, like write love letters to that girl you like who always sits in front, eat knickknacks, get on to mix it and gossip about your exes, amongst other things. But how many of us would actually have sex in the classroom and ask one of our friends to film it? A 17-year-old boy was filmed having sex with a 16-year-old girl in an empty classroom at a Cape Town high school by another 16-year-old using his cell phone. The pupils, who were in grade 11 at the time, were expelled. With none of the pupils fighting this decision, the matter was put to rest by the Western Cape Education Department until last Thursday, when a case of pornography was opened against the youngsters at a police station. The vice chairperson of the school rumored to be involved said that the parents should be held responsible. We meet up with the parent to hear her views about instilling morals in children and if these can be monitored.
I think it's parents, because it's us who have got a lot of time with children than teachers. We must teach them how to behave and whatsoever. If a child is naughty, the teacher can't do nothing with it. If you a parent, you can't teach your child how to behave.
Who should be held responsible for the decisions that teenagers make? The parents, the educators, or the teens themselves? Let's find out.
When a parent sends a learner to school, when they send them to us, it is our responsibility what they do at school. We are responsible for them. We are responsible for what they get up to, and we are supposed to control the environment that they are in. Between after school and getting home, then now it's the learner's responsibility. So whatever happens there, we can blame it on the child. But how they're going to behave is going to depend on the principles that they've been given at school and at home.
Teenagers from at home, they are taught responsibility and how to make decisions because their parents already made the decisions and they were taught when they were young. So the parents teach the teenagers, give them guidance and how to be responsible in life. So I think it's the teenagers' choice of whatever they do. It's their choice.
Add us on Twitter, on Facebook, and let us know what you think about the decisions that teenagers make. Should they accept full responsibility for what they do, or keep pointing fingers? This is Gino Shedile for PR.
Guys, remember that every single action that you perform has a related consequence. So think before you act.
Yes, solid advice there, my man Zach.
You know
but that's for sure. But now let's find out what's been happening around the world on World WhatsApp. Rape and violence is a huge issue that many countries, including South Africa, have been trying to combat. But what happens when a youngster is accused of rape? Well, we travel all the way to New Delhi to find out more.
A 17-year-old in New Delhi is accused of taking part in a gang rape where a 23-year-old Chinese physiotherapist was repeatedly raped and beaten with a metal bar on a bus before being tossed onto a road. The woman died 2 weeks later from internal injuries. A year ago, a 17-year-old mentally impaired Soweto girl was gang raped by a group of boys aged between 14 and 20. The gang rape was recorded on a cell phone and went viral in the weeks that followed. Charges against the 14-year-old and 17-year-old involved in the Soweto gang rape were withdrawn by the Roodepoort Magistrates Court because the boys could not be tried as adults until they were 18. In addition, the 14-year-old was found to be too young to know they were committing a crime. Similar to the strike that followed the Roodepoort court case, there was an outcry in New Delhi following the gang rape of the 23-year-old woman. Information about the whereabouts of the teenager's detention have been withheld from the media to protect him. India recently raised the minimum age teenagers can be tried as adults from 16 to 18. In response to the outcry after the rape, the government has enforced tougher penalties for sex crimes, but refuses to return the adult age to 16. Should teenagers who commit serious crimes be tried as adults or not?
So I think teenagers should be sentenced like an adult, get an adult sentence because they're in the right state of mind of doing what an adult can do.
I don't think that they should be tried as adults, because I think they did it like they are silly. They are not doing it intentionally. I think they should be given community service or find a more educating way to educate them, to lead them to a better future.
Rape is a serious crime, but it's especially scary that guys as young as 14 are involved in such things. Let's move on quickly. PK, what's next up on the lineup?
Yes, before we move on, let's take a quick look at a short video made by a group of high school learners in the Gauteng province.
You thought you had taken my power away from me, but I thank you today, for you have made me stronger. Now you won't hold me back any longer. This situation has taken its course. I am who I am because of what you did. We are women, wise, strong and powerful. Today we stand and make our bid. We say enough is enough. We are ready to get rough and tough. Today we make our right known. We stand together and call upon all our silent sisters to make their anger known. Brothers, join our sisters. Let our struggle be shown. No means no. Watindu Fazi, Watindu Boboto. You strike a woman, you strike a rock.
I was an innocent child, going home after a day at school, and he took my innocence away from me.
Wow, guys, that was really powerful. Do check out more of these iSchool Africa clips on rape and violence on www.ischoolafrica.co.za.
That is correct, PK. But next up, Gino takes a look at some of the issues that have been in the headlines this past week.
Ever wake up in the morning craving chips, Coke, a warm loaf of white bread and a strike? In the past 2 years alone, South Africa has marched over e-tolls, a painting of our president, truck drivers demanding a higher wage, farm workers and mine workers also wanting a wage increase. In fact, we've striked over everything and anything that makes us unhappy. In fact, on Monday, 200 protesters on the R114 between Malibongo Drive and Seda Road in Johannesburg threw stones at cars and traffic had to be diverted after the roads were blocked with burning tires. The cause for the strike at the time was unknown. Clearly, there are better ways to negotiate demands, right? More legal ways. Well, we are not so sure anymore, with magistrate courts around the country facing a total shutdown as magistrates threaten to go on strike if their salaries are not adjusted. The solution? More strikes. Well, not really. However, that is the mentality of most South Africans. Strikes have become an effective form of negotiation. Demands are made, a strike follows, demands are met. And then we wait for the next problem to arise before tackling it in the same fashion.
The bad thing about strikes is they destroy the infrastructure, the landmarks, the road marks, and as soon as an investor sees that South Africa is very vulnerable to strikes, then they're going to pull out the investment, seeing that it's a very weak country, and then the rand is going to be less to the dollar, making things more expensive, making the strike not worth it, because in the end things are going to go higher and they're going to strike again for more because they're not getting their money's worth.
Shoo, it seems like some of us learned how to strike before we even learned how to walk. And while it certainly is one way of standing up for what we believe in, we should actually try and explore other options instead.
I agree with you on that one, PK. There are always other ways of making ourselves heard. But right now, what I really want to hear more about is what's been happening in the world of entertainment. Our Umgosi slot is just what I need.
It's that time again for you to get your weekly dose of entertainment news on Umgosi. It's about time to listen to Boom Shaka. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that song, and guess what? The African pop group that Utata Madiba really didn't like is back in studio and hoping to give us the hits they once did way back then. Moving on to international news, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad and Angelina are set to be married in the next 90 days. But get this, with them getting hitched within the 90 days, this could mean that the wedding will clash with ex-wife Jennifer Aniston and her fiancés. Got that, Brangelina? Why you gotta shine on Jen Shine? South African artists seem to be doing something right. Soweto award-winning a cappella group The Soil recently made their debut performance at the Apollo Theatre in the United States of America. Congratulations to the group, and let's hope they inspire Americans to make real music like they once did, because they clearly seem to have lost it, with every track being about twerk. Well, that's it for Umgosi for this week. Check you next time with some more entertainment news. I'm out.
PK, I'm sure that you are really happy about The Soil. I know that you're a huge fan.
Yes, sir.
I've also heard her trying to sing a few of their songs, and guys, believe me, not too good.
Oh, Zach, why you gotta put my business up in there? No. But you know what? I really do need to go get those singing lessons so that I can actually sing like The Soil. But now, let's take a quick break. We still have loads lined up for you guys, so we'll see you after this. You're back on Bona Retsang, and yes, now it's time for us to take an in-depth look at an issue that may be affecting you and your friends.
And if you never saw bullying as a serious problem before, you have to check this out.
Beshabanye abantwana for into engekho is like umuntu umcela imali yakhe akuncishe like you naye uba ne-anger because ufuna ukuthatha imali yakhe angafuni, so then ugcina manje ulanda igenge senigcina nibashaya abantu bakhona.
Physical bullying takes place in the presence of that person. It's a face-to-face thing, and it's either verbal or it's emotional or it's physical.
Babies, I'm 26, I'm 28, I'm 3. These gangs, most of young youth, so they think ukuthi mabajoyine lezi zinto lezi bazokwenza izinto ngokuthanda kwabo.
Where cyberbullying is a lot more of an emotional type of approach, and it obviously happens electronically.
The RCMP are confirming there's a full investigation underway into the circumstances surrounding the death of Port Coquitlam teenager Amanda Todd.
Her name was Amanda Todd. She was 15 years old, and she killed herself after years of being victimized by bullies in person and online.
People who are afraid have two choices. They can either become passive and become victims, or they can become aggressive. And a lot of your bullies are simply sheep that got tired of being sheep, that became wolves and wanted to get their power back. So older brother bullies me, so I bully someone younger than I am. Simply how it works. Phoenix Foundation is an international organization dealing with safety in schools, and particularly focusing on the issue of bullying and how to prevent bullying and how to help victims, and even how to help the bullies themselves to be able to solve the issue that is causing their behavior. Bullies definitely are victims, and they are a victim of their own self-image, of their own personal insecurities. Those insecurities can be created many different ways. It could just be an absentee mother or father. It could be someone else bullying them. Something in their life takes away their power, and so they feel disempowered. And that emptiness inside, which they can't define, drives them to become powerful by doing different things. And one of those things is abusing others.
Ngithe mangizirealize into bengizenza because abanye abantu abasangithandi the way bebengithanda ngakhona kuqaleni. So ngabona ukuthi into engiyenzayo wrong, and then abantu banginika ama-advice ukuthi angeke ngiphelele ndawo ngalento engiyenzayo.
Guys, let's learn to stick together and treat each other like equals. If you've been a victim of bullying at school or on a social network, make sure that you contact the Phoenix Foundation for help. But Zach, what's up next?
Well, PK, next up in the lineup, it is Be Media Wise, where you guys get the chance to send us your cell phone videos about the stuff that matters to you. And today we take a look at a clip about school gangs.
Fine. Ngizoringa nge-gangsterism la esigela stage. Thulane secondary high school. La eSnake Park. Ngithe one of the members ye-gang la esigela. Ewumakhafula. Shushu emakhaya. Oy. Esifale wena kahle kahle. Yini le ngileyo gang? Gangster ntwana yami sekulisikhande. Yangithola. Kuzenzela izinto nje. La, my gangster zenzela izinto. Ngisethi ngithize into ezintane sekukhona ukuzithandela yabo. Zenzela izinto uzifayela izinto yabo ungacela abantu kahle kahle. Angithola. Njengokuthengisa bogwayi lokudala amadayisi yesi. Lezi inkawu zehlek. Levela amadayisi ngasho ukuthini yawo ukuzithandela yabo. Ngoba phela ukuthanda ngezinto ezifree ayizwali. Yeah. Aphani mhlambe ngokubulala umuntu olimini yabo. Thanda ngenyuku yakhe ekhaya. Barinira amagangster esikhathini esibhaya la esigela. Aphilisa abantu kakhulu. Aphilisa abantu kakhulu. Mntwana aphilisa abantu kakhulu. Ngabangcono mangabe phele wena ungangibekela kahle kahle ukuthi baphilisa kakhulu ngaziphi. Abanye bayaphakwa la ngaphandle. Bathathelwa amakepisi, abanye bayakhashelwa egeyidini. Yabona la. Yabona la abaphakwayo. Phele baphakwa yilezi ama-outside angithola. Ngeke mina mfethu phele into yokuphaka umuntu wasesigela. Ngoba sizo kumele masingama-agent aboneleni ukubheke la nangithola le. Ngiyabonga ke. Hayi bafethu igcwele ke ngalezi zinto ezizangala isigela.
Wow, thank you so much for that clip. Do remember to send through your own clip to our WhatsApp number or our BBM pin, which is actually appearing on our screens right now.
Ringanati is up next, and today we hear what you guys have to say about hip-hop and poetry. Are these the same art form? Let's go and find out.
Hip-hop, hip-hop is culture, man. Poetry, similar to hip-hop. I mean, it all has rhymes and everything, so I believe it contains a similar motion.
Contains the essence of
yeah.
Some people, they prefer poetry, some people, they prefer hip-hop. Some of them prefer both.
I think it's one and the same thing, guys.
Yeah.
Because poetry is already in hip-hop, if you think about it. It's already there. It has all the elements in it already.
But the truth is, it's different.
Hip-hop is more describing the type of person you are. You bringing across what you feel inside. So it's more in depth with getting in touch with the person within.
Poetry is just hip-hop, just that they added a few things just to attract people,
like
right?
Elevation. Life is moving forward, so things are changing.
You know, PK, I'm no expert on hip-hop or poetry, but I do believe that these two forms of creative expression have more than a bit in common.
You know what, Zach, I totally agree with you on that one. But guys, do remember last week's poll? It went like this. Do you think that making Nyawupe or Wunga illegal will decrease the use of the drug? Well, 100% of you guys say no.
That's right, guys. This week's poll question is, should parents be held responsible for students' sexual behavior at school? Send us your opinion on our Facebook page and we'll see what you guys think about the issue. But right now, let's head over to a quick ad break. When we return, we meet up with DJ Lulo Cafe, and Bugaman Boba hooks us up with his version of the news.
Welcome back to Bona Retsang. Do remember to interact with us on our Facebook page by just clicking the like button, or you can always drop us a tweet at Bona Retsang.
Correct, PK. But for now, let's move on to Zishani. And this is a slot where one of our viewers gets a chance to interview a prominent figure. And today, we hit the ones and twos as we find out more about DJ Lulo Cafe.
Welcome Welcome, Lula Cafe.
Thank you.
Viewers at home know you as a DJ.
Yes.
Obviously, there's more to you than that. So,
obviously.
Please tell us more about Lulo.
Okay, from a personal note, I'm a father to a 2-year-old. I'm a brother to 3 fellas. And work side, I'm also into business. Everything that I do evolves around music. Yeah.
So, what makes you unique as a DJ?
It's the style of music I play. You know, I'm more into soulful, very musical house music. You know, stuff that a person who's not even into house music can listen to and be like, okay, cool, I like this song.
Who inspires you to be what you are and to go further along in your career?
You know, I pick up inspiration from different people, the Freshers, the Glens, the Vinnies, the Oskidos, people who've kept it going for so long. And even from a business point of view, they've also kept it going, you know, because it's not easy to last.
DJs are perceived to be very irresponsible and players. So what do you have to say about that?
Some people are irresponsible. Some men are only as faithful as their options, you know. So I can't really say, yes, you're right, DJs are irresponsible, or yes, no, you're wrong, DJs are not irresponsible. But, you know, it's every man for himself.
Considering your very busy schedule, I'm sure you're a very busy man. What does your typical day look like?
From morning, I wake up, I chill at home, watch the news, see what's up, shower, get in the car, meeting, drinks with the boys, you know, yeah. Typical easy day.
What advice do you have for a person who wants to drop out of school and pursue a career in the music industry?
Look, I mean, I think a lot of things in the world have changed, you know, and it's high time that, I mean, every person who grows up wherever they do to really find what they're passionate about and find ways to actually make it work and keep it sustainable.
Man, being a DJ must be so amazing. I really want to learn how to mix. PK? Do you think that the bosses upstairs could maybe put things together and organize something?
Hey, there's no harm in asking, but all I'm going to say is don't quit your day job. You know what, guys? We're going to have to love and leave you, but do not stress because we leave you in the capable hands of Bugo Man Boba. Bugo, hook us up.
Hello and welcome to Bona Retsang. It's your boy Boogerman to the B. Yes, Boogerman Baba, and I'm going to give you a wrap-up of the week's news. First up, the government has taken the first step into the banning of alcohol. No, relax. They're only banning the sales of alcohol on a Sunday. I mean, the country has gone crazy. Everyone's going insane like, no, you can't just do that. I mean, we're still recovering from apartheid. You cannot ban alcohol. I mean, even the church is complaining like, how are we going to do Holy Communion without wine? It's obvious, South Africa. Do not mess with South Africa and their booze. Second up on the news, SABC chairman Ben Ngubane and his deputy have quit their post at the SABC, saying, I can't take it anymore. I can't stand this. I cannot stand SABC 1 and their repeats. Why are they still repeating 80s sitcoms? Why are they showing repeats of Kumbule Kaya? Why am I still watching Chuck Norris movies? No, man. I'm going to ETV for the Friday Action Nights and the Anaconda Festival. I quit. Next up, there's been reports this week that the father of this great nation, Nelson Mandela, is beginning to lose his memory. I mean, this is bad. Apparently, he still believes that Walter Sisulu is still alive. I'm sure he's there every day trying to call him. Oh no, his phone is engaged again. Winnie! Winnie! Where is my wife? How are we going to fight the struggle if I cannot find my comrade and my wife? Aye, man, shame, guys, this is sad. Let's just tell Nelson Mandela that the struggle is over, man. Moving on to some international news, Google has introduced a talking shoe. Yes, shoes that talk to you. I mean, this is crazy. Shoes are going to be telling people things like, man, can you please get a car, dude? This walking thing is too much. Or your shoes are going to tell you, dude, we have to go to Kukuletu again. I mean, really. Can we just go to places like Sandton? I mean, you're going to take a step too fast, and your shoes are going to tell you, hey, dude, can you please take it one step at a time, dude? And finally, there's been rumors that Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, better known as Brangelina, have decided to tie the knot this May. And don't worry, the whole world is invited. And by the whole world, I only mean their children. I mean, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have adopted children all over the world, as far as Namibia. I'm sure that a family dinner looks like a meeting for the United Nations. Well, that's it from us here at Bona Retsang. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. You know how we do it, all day, a day, holla black.